Hello everyone, how y'all doing? Yeah, I'm doing one of these bedside chats, I guess you could call them, or in bed chats. Only because little lady, she keeps falling asleep and so forth. Right now she's kind of preening herself, but yeah, I just don't want to disturb her. So, anywho, yeah, let me take these off. Um, so yeah, last night I had something happen. I found out I'm definitely allergic to that new shampoo. Not a good situation. I went out to work, and even though I really wasn't smelling it all that much, I was definitely being affected by it, and I wound up having, I guess you could call it, asthma attack or whatever. Yeah, and I didn't have my inhaler with me. I usually don't take it with me because the side effects that I get from it when I do it, um, yeah, it has a tendency to make me very sleepy, lightheaded, dizzy, all that sort of stuff. So, and unfortunately, even though I had my windows open, despite it being really chilly, yeah, things were just tightening up and so forth, and it was like not a good situation. So I wound up, I had done a grocery store run, and I made this decision, and it was getting close to the time that Whole Foods was going to be closing, and I'm like, I've got to get over there and get that shampoo, um, the one that usually use, and see about switching that out because this is not a good situation. And unfortunately, I took the shopping cart as I was leaving the store. I went offline so I could finish up with that delivery and then just run over before they closed. And I took the shopping cart, put it right there by the door, and I started walking to my car. And I was almost to my car, and I realized I forgot the groceries in the shopping cart. Not a good. So I had to go back. Fortunately, it was just a couple bags, so it was no big deal. But I was just like, I was just getting so, yeah, not feeling not right, with difficulties breathing and so forth, that I completely spaced. It was like, that would have been bad if I would have wound up running all the way over there to drop off the order and then realized, oops, I didn't have the order with me. But fortunately, I remembered. But yeah, I was able to get over there, and I also picked myself up. I got a really uh, weird craving for these one tortilla chips from basically they're the nacho cheese late July tortilla chips, and they tend to be spicy or whatever. But I got a really strong craving for them. I was like, okay. So when I got home, I went ahead, took some insulin. Of course, I did my inhaler and everything. I started feeling better, but I was still congested. And I had even stopped off at Walmart, picked up some dye-free Benadryl, the generic. Thank goodness they make that now. I know when they first came out with it, and for years they didn't have it in generic. Um, but yeah, now they have it in the generic. Thank goodness, as it was huge cost savings. I went ahead and picked myself up some of that just to be on the safe side in case, because my head was starting to itch and everything. I was just like, oh, this is not a good situation, and I'm in. So I went ahead and picked myself up a box just to be on the safe side, in case I might need it. And yeah, when I got home, I did the inhaler and did some insulin so I could get myself covered with what I was going to be eating and so forth. And definitely, there was a reason why I had a craving for those chips. Because I just started draining like you would not believe. Got it all out of me. But then, of course, I was getting lightheaded, dizzy, tired, and I crashed for a few hours. And so, lesson learned. Don't switch from the products that I'm used to, even though it cost me more. But I really wanted to get it for through Whole Foods because I had noticed that it was on sale as well. So, well, but yeah, now I've got like 2 bottles of shampoo. I don't know what I'm going to do with this other bottle. I know I probably can't return it since I already used it. Um, I don't know. I was thinking I could maybe just use it as hand soap or something. I'm not entirely too sure. I'll have to see. Right now, I got it up underneath the bathroom sink. We'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, and then it didn't help either that there was these aromas, and I had actually done a couple of shopping orders. There was strong aromas in both of the stores, with it being, the season and everything. It was a lot of cinnamon smell. Usually it doesn't have I don't have a problem with it, but seeing how I was getting inflamed, it was stronger than normal. Yeah. So I'm even smelling my smudge stick a little bit. But that's actually a good smell. It was helping to keep things clear out, and it has been. So yeah, and then oh, I almost forgot about that. I had when I with the Whole Foods I went to, it did have self checkout, um, and unfortunately, the line I wound up getting into was pretty much the only lane that was available. There was this lady in front of me who was wearing some very strong perfume, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to get out of there. And they were just, um, her and the cashier and the bagger, they were all just chit chatting and everything. And I'm just standing there. I almost yelled it out, can we please move this along? But only because I was getting worse and worse because of everything. Um, but fortunately, um, um, we got through. And then I completely spaced. I couldn't find my phone. Fortunately, I realized, oh, it's in my, my basket. I had one of the hand baskets. I was just getting really getting worse and worse, basically. And fortunately, I was able to make it home, and I didn't. I'll admit, I was speeding. I didn't care if I got pulled over or anything. I figured, I could just explain it to a cop. Hey, look, I'm having a problem. I'm just trying to get home so I can take care of it. Um, and hopefully they would understand. Uh, and then when I got home, there was a cop in the parking lot here at the complex with this lights going on. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm already home. You want to pull me over for speeding in the parking lot? Be my guest. So, but anyway, yeah, it was pretty tough last night with it, but fortunately, I'm getting straightened around and so forth. Um, but and then, well, this morning I got a an email which kind of triggered me a little bit, and one of my biggest triggers is, of course, finances. I have a tendency to go into panic mode. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of past life karma, or because with growing up there was always a lot of financial troubles. Um, and it's weird because when I was younger, it never really triggered me all that much. It was just like, okay, whatever, and I just kept going. But I don't know, in more recent years, it's been a big time trigger for me. Um, and I don't know. I guess because with the health issues that I've been having, um, it is becoming a little bit more difficult for me to be able to do things, and especially with the systems that are in place. I know I'm not going to get approved for disability. The resources that are out there that are available, that are supposed to be readily available, are not. And there's a lot more pressures out there because of everything. But this morning's messages, there's a MJ put out a couple of videos today. There's the morning message, and there's a message from the ancestors. Interesting, the message from the ancestors was really interesting. She used the timing deck that she's created, and the very first card that came out was in time for your birthday, and it was just like, okay, my birthday's Monday. That's interesting. That's pretty short timing, but um, excuse me. Um, But I'll admit with the email that I got this morning, it had it related to something to do with my financial situation. And I'm just like, oh shit, not something else. And I'm at a point where I can't put anything more in hock. I do have just, you know, a couple things left that I could maybe sell for scrap gold, but I really don't want to go down that road if I can help it. All this is going through my head, and then I got thinking, what happened on Sunday night. I pushed myself, but good. And it's like, you know what? I can do this. I know I can. And this month is supposed to be a really good month for me as far as my cards are concerned. The Wheel of the Year reading that I did last year, King of Wands, and Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups being a card about wishes granted. Uh, King of Wands being somebody who's trustworthy, honest, honorable, so on and so forth. Somebody who's quite uh, basically someone who's ascended. And I'm just like, all right, let's do this. But the thing that really came out the most for me with her readings this morning, um, and this is Thursday, November 7th. So if you want to check out those readings, feel free. 2024, by the way. In case you're watching this, next year or something. But anyway, the thing that really came out for me is, instead of focusing on, excuse me, that, what I've just been talking about is focusing more on the end goal. And I know the vision that I have for myself. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on. That's what's going to help with building the confidence and so forth. That basically, that King of Wands. King of Wands is also about confidence. It's a lot about that Leo energy. So, and Mars just entered into Leo. So, tapping into that energy is what it's going to be about for me. So, it's like, all right, let's do this. And especially with the readings that was something that was thinking about. Also, there was the one reading that I did yesterday from the Wildwood Tarot. The outcome was insecurity. Beautiful messages around with the other cards, like basically the Empress card, the intuition, basically the seer, that high priestess card, their version of it, so on and so forth. A lot of beautiful messages. There was just two cards though that really, I guess you could say, that had negative aspects or challenging aspects. And of course, the one card was the outcome card with the insecurity. One of the cards was heart of the kind of, I guess you could say, heart of the matter. It was jealousy. I'm like, what? People being jealous of me? Nah, I have nothing to be jealous about aside from the spiritual work that I'm doing, or possibly being jealous of somebody else. Um, and we can have a tendency, to compare our own lives to other people and so forth. We are social people, and everything. And it's like, okay, I could see that. Possibly, especially when the anxieties kick in, we can have a tendency to start comparing ourselves to other people because those anxieties are kicking in. It's like, oh gosh, I should be at this point, like all these other people, so on and so forth. And it's like, no, you have to stop, take those steps back, and realize what sort of journey that you are on as opposed to them. They may be, yeah, they may be at a different stage than you are. Excuse me, I know I'm still having some issues, um, partly because I really need to get this out of my hair. Um, they may be at a different stage in their journey than what you are, but they are not at a stage that you are at. So you may be going through struggles, but they may have had it easy. They may have been born with a little bit of a silver spoon in their mouth, or they may have had it easy because of circumstances that they're in. But they have not experienced the same things that you have with the struggles that you have been going through. I hope that makes sense. So, for instance, you may they may have lived in an area where it was easier for them to be able to attain all of those that status that they are at. They may have had the connections that were required for them to be able to get to that point or whatever. However, they may not have had the experiences of almost experiencing homelessness. Make sense? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. And so they may not necessarily, when something does hit them, they may not be able to handle those situations as easily as what you are, because you are have or are experiencing it right now. So when things do happen, you have the resilience to be able to overcome. Make sense? And I did, with where I was at before, those people were freaking out. And I'm just like, what? This is nothing. And it's just kind of like, wow. But that just goes to show the differences I have been through. I haven't actually been through bankruptcy myself, but I went through it with my parents. And my parents didn't shield me from anything. There's no point in shielding your children from all of the little things that can happen in life, because they may need those experiences later on to show them that, hey, you can overcome more than what you think. You are stronger than what you think that you are. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was exposed. Everything that my parents went through, and it was tough. There was a lot of things that we went through when I was growing up. It was really tough. My mom with all of her medical issues, my parents with their financial issues, and so forth. But it may be stronger. Yeah, I'll admit I do feel tired at times because life has been tough for me. But at the same point, I have all of those experiences to rely on to realize that, hey, you know what? I can overcome whatever is being thrown at me right now. Whereas somebody who has had the easy road, yeah, they may think that they are set, because they have money in the bank, this, that, and every other thing. But guess what? Mm-hmm. Like I always say, we all have one foot in the gutter at all times, and anything can happen at any moment, which will send you, bam, right there, and next thing you know it, you're facing living out on the streets. Mm-hmm. So don't think that just because you're facing tough times, guess what? It's helping to prepare you for things that are coming better into your life later on. Just keep that mindset, keep that set, keep yourself steady, keep yourself straight moving forward. Keep your eye on that prize and so forth. Because with what you're going through right now, once you get to that point, you're going to appreciate it even that much more. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm thinking about. Is I know I have a very rough road facing me over the next couple of weeks here. And it's going to be tough. And I know that. And I know I'm going to be breaking down. There's going to be some more of those videos that I did the other day. I know that. So prepare yourselves. So I hope it helps somebody else in the process that, hey, look, you're not alone. We're all in this together. All right. So hit those like buttons so I know that you're watching. I'll send that support and everything, and I'm sending it all right back to you guys through these videos too. All right? We've got this. We can do this. I know it's tough out there, but we're going to get through this, and we're going to do it together. All right? I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.